But it's Friday.
It's a day.
It is Friday.
Actually, it's been a pretty good day.
Yeah, me too.
That's good. I'm glad. What about you, Tanya?
It's been a busy day, but it's good. Busy, but good.
Busy with what? I'm curious.
Well, I already told you I spent 2 hours getting mani-pedis.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
know.
That's not busy.
yeah, it is.
No.
it's
It
not.
was.
That's pleasure.
queenness.
I'm tired of you calling me a princess and a queen. You need
I
to
wouldn't
suck
call
it.
you a princess because you have a daughter. You're
Yeah.
too.
But-
You're too old to be a
And
princess.
she has
I
a
am
dick.
a fucking princess. I am
Yeah.
a queen, then, aren't I?
No, you're
I got
a
a dick.
straight dude.
I
You're a
I really
queen.
need to shave my beard. I'm
You're
sorry.
a Queen RuPaul.
No, it's been
Except for not
pretty
as hot.
busy.
Oh, come on. Who'd you rather fuck, Tanya or RuPaul?
RuPaul.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'd fuck RuPaul. But no, we've got busy stuff going on this weekend, and I had to do running around and get stuff out of the.
You see what she's
laundromat
doing,
and-
by the way? She's throwing in the fact that they have busy stuff this weekend to distract from
Yeah.
the fact
From
that she
the
was busy today.
Honestly, it was normally I have a toddler,
Let me
so
ask
I
you
had
a
to
question.
save everything for today.
Aside from getting your manis and petties, did you leave the house?
Yes.
No. I mean, like, okay, did you do anything out of the house while you were out?
Yes.
What?
I spent an hour at the bank,
Beat up a hobo.
How? How do you spend an hour at the bank?
That's a good question.
private. I
Oh, one of those.
I've been trying. I
She
had to go.
subsequently
She
is
was
now
sticking it up.
She's now $42,000 richer.
Right. I spent about 40 minutes at our insurance company trying to deal with their bullshit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's when you just burn the place down.
It already did.
Yeah,
That's the
that already
problem.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Here in town?
Yep.
Yes.
Which one?
Progressive.
Yeah.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
serious? Fuck yeah. I hate progressive.
Well, and it wasn't
I hate
just.
flow. I don't hate progressive. I hate flow. I
It
hate
wasn't
the face
just
of
that
them.
it burned down. So apparently the building they were in was metal.
Hmm?
And what the city posted, what the city posted was at like 12:30 there is a call for smoke, like midnight after 12:30. And you see
They
pictures.
just saw Will was running by.
So they posted pictures, and there's a fire truck, and there's police just lumbering around, trying to figure out where the smoke was. Well, they decided to go to the Progressive building and discovered the fire's contained inside this metal building.
Oh.
Oh, so it's completely destroyed,
So all I'm saying is this and 9/11 have a lot in common.
right?
It's,
It's
a metal,
fake.
but it's an inside job.
Yeah.
It's an insight.
It was
I'm
metal,
questioning.
but it caught on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, metal doesn't catch fire.
No.
I mean, kind of does, but
No, it doesn't. It just melts.
it
But at a
can.
very high
You
temperature.
need to see that because they're running out of the old liquor store. That's
Yeah,
where our
wait,
the
insurance
whole
company
thing
is.
isn't metal though.
Where? Well, I know, but where?
That's the thing. Like, there's also the ceiling tiles.
Isn't the progressive?
the wires?
Isn't
there's
the
a lot of
progressive
other
building
shit.
right by Dylan's? Like in between those two
right?
little-
No,
No, it's across the street from like Dollar
Dollar
General.
General. Okay, that's what I thought it was.
By the Amtrak, the railroad
Yeah,
station.
right off the trains.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
have no idea where it is.
There's
then.
probably just like a bunch of people that rode by on an Amtrak and just flicked their cigarettes
what I'm
out.
wondering.
They just
Really
landed
funny.
on the building. Like, all of them. It looked like Valhalla was attacking.
Yeah,
That
to
would
be
be
wrong.
funny. Interesting.
Well, and then because we need to address
just to
it.
be
Look
clear,
what you started.
Just to be clear, that fire can't be tracked to me, right? Since I said you should burn it down. Like we're
No,
good there.
no,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean,
no.
you only did just bring it up.
right.
Well, and
You know
we
we should
also
totally do
need
this.
to discuss that. Along with that, I was cleaning out and moving tables and getting chairs set up, and we need to discuss why.
We do.
We do.
What?
Why do I care?
Well,
I'm kidding.
It's more for the fans. Look, Jay's on it.
Sorry.
Jay's not even.
I know. Me and you were both
I
like
dropped out. What's going on?
You were on your
So-
phone like that. I'm over here like
For the fans and everybody listening, not my
that is
co-host
not
here.
us.
I was in my basement today sweeping and cleaning and setting up my huge retro 90s stereo. Huge. And getting tables and computers and TV set up. We have news for you, our fans. We here at Revolution Radio we're breaking up. We're leaving 106.
We're getting the band back together.
we're gonna be out on our own like big people.
We are.
We're gonna become adults.
Why didn't you guys tell me this?
Cody's like, what the fuck's happening?
Cody, you're still part of 106. You're staying.
Did I not?
Jay
get...
and I got some contracts, and you're gonna stay
Oh.
here with Big Will and become the second Magic Mike.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Except for, not as attractive.
I'll have less magic in me. I hope.
Yeah, no, that's true. And so we'll be focusing primarily on Facebook and YouTube for right now. And 24.7,
We love 24.7.
they've taken care of us. And yeah, so, and we'll be breaking more news about that as time comes. Because I don't know. There's some stuff we're not sure about. There's some other platforms that
Yes.
are
And
offered to us.
You guys need
and
to
we're-
make sure to check on, especially through Facebook, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Because we are moving, we've got new equipment coming, and it might take a couple of days. And even
We
when we say
definitely-
we're live, if we say we're live and you don't see us or hear us, please let us know.
Yeah.
That too.
Let us know what we're doing wrong.
Yeah, so for probably all next week to catch up with us, it'll be YouTube and 24.7. And then the following week is when we'll probably be on a live platform. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
lot
little
going
difficult
on.
at the
It looks
second.
like they have a space that might be through Live 65, but we don't know. We're not
yeah,
sure.
we're still figuring things out, and
There's like 3 other options or whatever. I don't know.
So-
Honestly, some of this does come down to not our laziness. It's our inability to communicate as a whole. Like a lot of people think like we're
Whoa.
all good friends and we hang out all the time.
We're great friends.
We're good friends, great friends, whatever. But we don't hang out. Like we don't.
like when we
don't
hang out,
communicate that.
we're
much.
on a 3-way call, and Cody's at his house, and Jay's at his
Yeah.
house, and I'm at my house, and we're like, so what you doing?
Honestly, we're on a weird level in between. Like, I have a couple friends at work that I'm really good friends with, but I would never hang out with them outside of work. You guys, I would absolutely hang outside of work. We've done it. But we're on a weird level where, we're above work friends, but not quite where we want to, we do, but...
Well,
No, but it's just,
when it
our
comes to- we're all
schedules, we're busy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. Cody lives like a mile and a
mile?
hour and a
I
half.
wish.
Sorry, an hour and
Yeah.
a half away. So yeah, he has to take like a private jet to get here.
I have to get my knapsack ready for the trip.
And like your Daisy Dukes,
For
just
real?
putting your thumb out. Come on.
Uh-oh.
That's not a good sign.
But no,
Your computer's freaking out.
But yeah, so we'll keep everyone updated. Again, I've heard talk that it's going to be Live 365, but I don't know. And we're
Well,
even
we'll
debating
all
if we
find
want to
out
be
together.
completely live. We're ironing out some stuff.
You know,
but
honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited. Just for a change of pace. I don't know.
that's youth right there. That's youth.
Not
Okay, but
no,
you're
no,
not
no, no,
excited for new equipment and
I mean,
new
no,
things.
it's not like I'm not excited, but
No, let me explain though. Because I'm not a person who likes change. I do not like change.
Have you met Jay?
So, this is how bad it is. The girlfriend the other day was like, "Hey, I kind of want to rearrange the living room," and I was appalled at the idea of that.
He's having a panic attack.
It would look. I know exactly how she set it up, and it would look great. But in my mind, I'm like, "Oh no, don't! I don't want to. I don't want to walk in and just see change. I don't like it." But I feel, and it sucks because we kind of have to be stationary for a certain point for this to get going. But I feel like sometimes when you get stationary, you get static.
yeah, no, I can see. It's
And I just-
definitely bred like a new monster of ambition.
Yeah, and
That's
I am
100%.
Yeah.
definitely just kind
But
of
that
looking
also
forward to a
comes
change of
with
scenery.
uncertainty. That comes with
Absolutely.
potential
That's the
failure.
excitement. Gets
no,
my, gets my
no,
boner
I get
going.
you. I get you. I don't. I got blue pills for that, so I'm good.
He's feeling really good about everything right now.
Yeah.
But 2 hours when those pills wear off, he's gonna be calling.
What are you talking about? I'm the one. I'm the one saying like, look, I'm with you, but there's also a lot of growing. And,
Yeah.
and I mean, and we're gonna have to do it quick. That's the other thing, because one thing that we
Yes.
want to bring up too is we're gonna be expanding more into Facebook videos,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube videos that are more live, segmented videos. Like it's just gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah,
A
I'm
fuck ton of work. Our
I'm very
producer
confident, though.
And Tanya and myself will be ripping our hair out.
Wait, what did you say?
Producer is a
Our
dick.
producer Tanya and myself will be.
Who's our
ripping-
producer?
Oh, wait until you meet him.
You haven't met him?
He's a dick.
Yeah, he's a real no, and he is too. Like that's not even a joke or
Wait,
a wink and a
who-
nod.
Do I know him?
I don't think.
I don't think so.
Who is
Yeah.
he?
You really don't.
No, for real.
No, I guess you haven't.
No, he has no
he
idea.
hasn't. No, he doesn't.
Who is it?
Oh, well, we said we wouldn't say his name on the radio,
Ugh,
but
bullshit. All right.
Tanya could probably bring up a picture of
Yeah,
it.
All
I was
right.
going to.
But yeah, no, like he
Oh.
seriously gets pissed off when we don't have episodes.
Dude,
ready.
sometimes he tells me to call Jay, and he's like, I'm going to listen to into this and make sure you guys are doing your thing.
So, but as I was gonna say, is I'm very confident that
He's
that
a dick,
when
isn't
he is, he's an asshole. Fuck that guy. No, but I'm very confident that if we just put our dicks to the grindstone and really, nail it down, we can do it.
No, we can. It's just
I wish, honestly, here's the thing that I wish. I wish none of us had jobs and
Right.
it was okay. Like we
Yeah,
could
like
still
we
live
had still
without
had
having
money,
job
yeah.
because we would have all the time in the world.
and that would be fine.
Which is why we need sponsors so we can quit our jobs and we can give you better content.
That's right.
That's where I'm behind the whole thing about. I don't want this to become more of a job than it already is. Like
Yeah.
where I'm like, "Oh, I need a day off. Fuck yeah. Like I love doing this.
Yeah.
It's everything around it that sucks. It's
Right.
the research. It's the
Absolutely.
all of that, which I enjoy at its base. But
Mm-hmm.
when I look and I'm like, holy shit, I got home 30 minutes ago.
yeah.
Then I got into researching. It's now 3 a.m. I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, there's my
Yeah.
entire day is work and then more work.
And it does suck. I think even in things like this that you love doing, you still need a break every now and then. But that's one of the things is no matter how frustrating it gets, you kind of just have to push through it.
Yeah,
Because if
no,
you
and I think
don't
we
ever
will.
just push
Yeah.
through it, it's always going to be a job where you're stuck having another job. Or if we just push through it, we can get to a
Agreed.
point where
completely. I don't know how many bands I've been in where that's been the case. Like,
Yeah.
if we just would have busted our ass.
Oh, yeah.
like, maybe. I'm not saying we'd have been like the Beatles, but
no.
Not
You
with
know.
not with your singer. But yeah, I feel like
Wow.
he's going to be pissed if he's
he
listening.
wasn't very good.
He's going to call me.
Is it not the one that we talked to?
We've talked to both of them. That's one of them.
Is that the one she's talking about?
Probably, maybe. No.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say I liked him. He wasn't too bad.
Oh no, I mean, it's highly. That one is highly synthesized. You
No.
can't tell.
Oh, really?
He does it really, really well on stage where you can't tell. But
Oh,
there is a fuck
Oh, okay.
ton of, like, there is-
gotcha. So it's a
he-
basic bitch on Snapchat. She's got too many filters.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
what he had.
have no idea.
He had more pedals and effects than I did.
You're
Which
a
was
guitarist.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? No.
Wow.
And he did.
No,
he
and
really
I,
did.
I did a lot of Tom Morello kind of shit.
Yeah.
Where like I used different effects. And
That's
stuff.
funny.
He still had more.
It was crazy.
Does he alter his voice, or does he just do it where
He did.
sounds
He had
good?
an because he had a microphone. Like he could alter it.
No. But
and
I mean,
add-
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like,
there was reverb, there was chorus, there was.
Oh, so it wasn't like a low key
distortion.
auto tune
No.
where he
no,
sounded
no,
good.
he could sing on key, but he couldn't scream. But most of his
Oh,
singing is
so he
screaming.
distorted it?
So he distorted
Yeah.
it.
That's
And
kind
then
of
he had
smart
to run
actually.
it through a gate. Then he had to run it through another distortion pedal.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and then I think it was a Vox tube warmer that he ran it through. It
Wow.
was
Holy
convoluted.
Well, and
as
it got
fuck.
really bad. One concert they did, there was like a delay. It was bad. It was bad. And they're taking bows, and I'm like, yep.
No, we did a show, and I don't want to get to music, but we did do a show, and I can't remember where it was. I really can't remember. But I specifically, and you can't hear a lot of times when you're on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped playing for half a second.
It was
like
still
it was
going.
in a break in a song. We all stopped. And I specifically heard a girl in the front row say, "That can't be what that guy sounds like." Like, he doesn't talk like that normally. Like, oh.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
They're on to him.
Wow.
But, yeah, no, she's talking about actually the other one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just make fun of him all the time because he sucks. Well, I mean, he doesn't suck
No,
personally.
I mean, yeah.
like,
And what it is
Yeah.
it's what works for him.
if it
and,
makes you
like,
feel any
his
better,
style.
any singer I've ever worked with has been absolute garbage. So
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not. It's just, it's finding a blend. Like, it's
Yeah.
easy. Your guitar, your bass, really, You can
Yeah, but you have to
control
not
like,
suck to start
am I
with.
gonna play
Right?
metal? Am I gonna play punk?
Sure.
And it, but if you're a singer, like Billy Joe Armstrong couldn't do Slipknot.
No,
You
no,
know
no.
what I'm saying? So,
But
yeah.
it sucks when you find a singer that can't do anything. That's when his voice doesn't fit with anything.
I have yet to have that. But
Yeah,
no,
no,
I'm
that's-
sure I have.
It was one of those. I'm sure you've seen them. YouTube kids covering a screaming part, and it sounds like they just picked it up a couple days ago, kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of.
Ouch.
Yeah, like the kind where when you listen to it, because you know techniques, you used to do it. I know techniques.
I know some.
Well, but you know the basic gist of it enough to listen to it and be like, oh, he's really hurting his vocal cords.
Yeah.
It's one of those. That's what my singer used to be like, where you listen to him and you're like, oh, dude, if you keep doing that, your vocal cords are going to be fucked.
So I want to go into something that I actually got in trouble for today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You just took right
I wish
over
we had
because
an
I was
alarm.
ready to go with my
Oh.
stuff, and you just.
I wish
jumped
we could
right
be
in.
that wacky show because me and her were like, uh-oh. And I wish we had like an alarm.
Oh, no.
Where, where?
Yeah, no, I got warned by
Woohoo!
Facebook.
Oh, don't tell me you're getting
Oh.
blocked again. Or you're
I'm
getting
not
banned.
I hope not. I don't know how much
Be kinda
further
funny
some
if
of
you
it
did.
will go, but
Mark Zuckerberg is personally going to show
he's
up
just
at your
watching
house.
me.
Going to show up
put
with
out
a
again?
bat.
Now I'm intrigued. I wonder if it has to do with what I was going to start with.
I know, probably, most likely.
Did you post some anti-vaxxer shit?
No, this I got in trouble for being anti-Semitic. I was
What the fuck,
posting.
man?
I
I'm
was-
Jewish.
I was posting racial,
Damn it, Jay.
and when I asked further more, like, what do you mean I was being? What was the top? I can't remember what they said, but they said I was posting racial.
Did it get taken
things.
down?
No,
Because I haven't really. I
that's the
haven't
interesting thing.
Should I look it up? Because I haven't seen anything.
No, you probably have.
Really?
This is my thing. This is weird. So I replied to the Facebook admin, and I'm like, what racial stuff have I posted? So you're on the borderline because you are posting and commenting in a very anti-Semitic manner.
Ooh, seriously?
And it's interesting because today I posted stories, just two, I believe.
It was only a couple, yeah.
Yeah, about how Israel is fucking over Palestine.
And they absolutely are.
And yes,
They are.
and
They
that's
That's
it.
really
it. The
are.
articles. I saw the
Right.
articles.
And I made a comment. Somebody commented on one of it, and they said, "This is the worst evil ever."
yeah.
Blah blah blah, something in that nature. And I said, be careful, because if you criticize the government of Israel, they're going to call you an anti-Semite.
And they
Laughing
did.
out loud. And then so it's either that comment. Of course, I think I actually even after I got in trouble, I think I continued going on.
Of course. Who got in touch with you though? Like,
Facebook.
Who's an admin on Facebook?
that's funny that they didn't take it down though.
Right.
Usually
well,
when they get on you, they
But
take
I'm
it
wondering
down.
if it was more of the comments.
that's what I'm wondering.
Like, I don't know. Maybe
know.
they sent, because I think I know which comments you're talking about. I'm wondering if they sent a thing
I
to
just
you
said
and
the
the
comment.
other guy.
It was
Do you
that
know what
one
I
where
mean?
you said those damn Jews.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know if they sent a warning to the other guy?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
I bet they did.
Which
I
is-
think they need to, because he comments on everything and he's a dick.
No,
You know, I
I
don't
don't think.
You know what's
You're
really,
talking about two different things.
You know what's
Am
really
I?
bullshit
Yeah.
though is how you got in trouble for that, but I see all these Republicans sharing shit about Omar and about how she's a Trojan horse looking to destroy America from the
Yes.
inside. She's a Muslim. She's gonna.
Oh,
But I don't think they get in trouble for
the
that.
Anti-Muslim shit is
Yeah,
huge on Facebook.
anti-LGBT.
I had somebody comment on a post about Omar, and they're just like, "Go home, raghead."
Yeah, right.
And that
yeah.
was
They
fine,
probably
yeah.
didn't
that's
hear
fine.
anything.
Yeah, I'm sure they
That's
didn't get
fine.
in trouble. They're good.
Well,
I mean,
that's
but
interesting
it
that you bring
seems
that,
that
up.
I am part of Omar's team now. Like, I'm one of those people who
Way to go.
commented on Israeli government, and I'm an anti-Semite now. Apparently,
That's what you get for being a progressive.
that's bullshit. Are you running with the story?
I was going to actually
threw her
start
in
with
the
something
pit right
else.
there.
I mean,
Oh, okay. I thought. Well, you kind of seemed like you wanted to get into that.
You ended it
I
so
did. Well,
abruptly.
I kind of, it
should
kind
kind
of
of
goes with it. We have 2 opinion polls today to talk
Oh,
about.
that
Hell
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Well, and the first one is there is a group of conservatives who are completely upset with Facebook. Apparently, Facebook is pro-progressive and Democrat.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
That's why
I
I
don't
said
think
that is
so.
hilarious that you brought that up. Facebook has decided today that they are going to start pulling all anti-vaccine
I saw that.
groups
That's
off
why I
of
joked
their.
about that.
It's a thing. And here's why. Did you know this year there have been 231 cases of the measles
Yeah, it's an
in the
outbreak.
United States?
Yeah.
Last month, it was discovered in Washington State, not D.C. There is a boy for the first time in 30 years. He has contracted. Are you ready for this?
Rebellion?
Tetanus.
Tetanus? No, what?
No.
Yes.
No,
A lot of people
I worked
contract
with a dude who had
tetanus. Yeah.
tetanus like 5 years
Yeah,
ago.
I
This
know
is
a
the
lot of
first
people.
time in 30 years in the state of Washington they've had tetanus.
Oh, Washington, maybe.
And here's the problem. When they asked what happened,
What?
I don't know.
No,
In
like,
Washington,
I'm
it's
really
just in
questioning-
Washington, though.
I'm really questioning
If
this.
it was
No.
America, I'd be
I
like,
mean,
no.
if I stepped on a rusty nail right now, I'd get tetanus.
So fun
I haven't
fact.
had it. I haven't had a tetanus
Fun
shot
fact:
since like
you don't even have to cut yourself.
no, you don't.
Tetanus is, it either is or like the second most common. I don't know if it's a virus or a bacteria,
It's a bacteria.
but the most or second most common bacteria anywhere.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
I haven't
it
gotten a
is.
tetanus
So
shot since like
basically taking a stroll.
1998. So
You've had tetanus?
I hadn't had a tetanus shot.
Oh, I keep up
Well,
to date on mine. That shit'll kill
See,
you.
and that's
Yeah,
what it
someone's
is the
got
issue. The mom is a known anti-vaxxer, and she posted several months ago her son cut his hand on
purpose?
a blade.
Were they blood brothers?
They were working in the yard. It was a lawnmower thing. He cut his hand. So she rubbed, and it's a joke that Jay and I were talking about on Wednesday, lavender oil to clean it. Well, he contracted tetanus, never
He got
took
it from the lavender
That'd be
oil.
really funny.
they never took him in. Apparently, what happened, he was in the living room and his breathing was shallow. His mouth locked up, surprise. Full fever, he could not breathe. And when they took him, he was in the hospital 2 months and his bill is over $880,000.
God damn.
Jesus Christ.
And due to
That's what I'm saying, though.
And it's a huge thing. Tetanus is easily treatable.
Yeah,
There's
I mean-
vaccines. It's like vaccine one shot every 10 years.
The guy that I knew that went to the hospital for it spent a little over $500,000.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh yeah, it's hard to cure.
And with the 231 cases of measles, Facebook has decided to be proactive, which brings us to why I thought it was interesting when you brought up your anti-Semite hate there. The part of the Republican issue is Facebook is trying to control the media, which, right?
so that makes us progressive.
I mean,
Yeah, and that is the thing. Facebook is controlling or is
They
trying
are.
to tell the conservatives that it's not okay to express your free speech because most of them are anti-vax.
No.
Conservatives aren't.
no.
Which is interesting. You should read the articles that are
Conservatives
popping
are not
up.
anti-vax.
Yeah,
it's the
no.
Democrats that are.
Right. So I don't understand why the
The
conservative
conservatives
group
are
is pissed.
mad
They're-
because
they're-
Facebook's getting their grimy little fingers into what they
wait,
can
wait,
share.
wait. You guys are generalizing far too much, and I would argue that a majority are extremist on both sides.
Right.
Because you've got your Alex Jones followers, who Alex Jones is. I don't know. I don't want to say he is now, but at one point when I listened to him, he was like, "They're putting autism in the vaccinate."
Yeah.
You know, and that was a
Putting
big thing.
autism in there.
That's exactly what he said.
I know.
I wish I was right. I wish I was paraphrasing on that
and a
one.
little drop of
Damn it.
autism.
And
Can't-
then-
you know, didn't you drink your anti-autism
Yeah.
shot?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was a baby.
We just
you
called that
drank.
Jared. But and then there's the far left who also. But I don't understand their complaint.
It's a slippery slope. That's why. That's their go-to thing. I'm not
especially
saying-
when you loop progressives in on it, though. If anyone is experiencing like majorly on a large scale, it's Ilhan Omar is taking the most shit right now about
Yeah,
free
totally.
speech.
I'm not saying I disagree with it, but it is somewhat of a slippery slope. It's like,
It
well, they start
kind
with
of
this,
is.
and I'm only okay with it because anti-vaxxers are morons.
Right.
But then if it came out that, oh, well, you can't post any anti-gun stuff or pro-gun stuff, people would be pissed.
And I do want to get onto the articles that I got in trouble with because they do have to pertain to this. But here is the what we're talking about this. It does follow a question. if you are targeting a group like anti-vaxxers who have an ideology, you're still attacking a group that can't use their freedom of speech. Is that right?
And that's the public opinion poll.
Yes.
One of them today is it okay for Facebook to stop groups?
I say
To
no. I really
I'm
do
gonna-
say no.
Feel dirty about it?
I obviously agree with them blocking anti-vaxxer shit because it's just dumb. But, we have our opinions, and not everyone agrees with our opinions, and that's
Yeah.
fine. But I wouldn't want my ideology to be blocked because of it. It's just like flat earthers. You know how much fun I have with flat earthers? They're a blast
Like
to make
me and
fun
the
of.
incels, let's be
Right,
honest.
they're great, but I also they have their right to post that stupid shit.
And the best way to organize them and for them to keep just debunking fact is when you say no, we're trapping you in a corner, and now in your corner all you have is flat earthers and anti-vaxxers. Now you guys are a stronger cohesion,
Yeah.
because we're all telling you don't have a voice here, so it only would grow.
So they're
that
gonna speak
side.
louder.
Exactly. And it would reinforce what they're already saying. Oh, well, look, see, the government controls Facebook,
Right.
and
Yeah.
this is part of it. I agree. I mean, because one of the things that this kind of pertains to as far as social media is the transgender identification. The people are getting in trouble for what they call dead naming. I don't know if you know what that is.
Dead naming. No.
Oh,
It's when you use someone's dead name.
Dead name?
yes.
What
or,
is
or
that?
their pronoun.
Oh, so like if
you
I change my name to John and they called me Cody.
Well, probably more like if you change your name to
To Kurt.
Kylie.
Yeah.
I would be.
Instead of,
I
if you
think
were
I'd be
a woman,
Kylie.
you should
You
be
would
a
be a
she,
Kylie.
her,
Oh.
not a he, him.
Right. And people are getting in trouble, and they're getting doxxed and kicked off of things like Twitter and Facebook for saying these things. For if I was to text you and be like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Boom,
Nope,
I would
fuck you.
I would get in trouble
Really?
because I was dead naming you.
Wow.
And that seems
Seems a bit far.
right.
It is.
And it goes even further because like places like Twitter, you have there's a strong amount of like feminist groups who are saying, I don't think a trans man or a trans woman should call herself a woman. She doesn't know the plight of being a woman, the suffrage that we've gone through.
You're right.
She got here last week. That's not fair. And those people who are having that opinion are being doxxed and being kicked off of Twitter. That's not really fair. I mean, that actually kills discussion.
Yeah, it
right.
does.
It
I mean,
does.
even though it seems like that's an anti-trans, way to be. Because I personally don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of my biggest arguments would be like, if I saw Tanya and I see Cody, so you guys walk down, I'd be like, that's a her, that's a he.
Mm-hmm.
And if I find out, oh, Tanya is a trans woman, I
That'd
still
be
would call her a
amazing.
her. Like, it just,
Yeah.
like, that's what she looks like. So, it's
Yeah.
just, like, I think this is more general than just being specific. But then Twitter did come back and they did say, well, this is all about anti-targeting and anti-bullying, which I kind of understand their side in a way.
No, sorry, Facebook.
That's Twitter.
Free speech. I know, but the opinion poll is about Facebook.
I know, but I'm just saying on this one, like,
Way to drop the ball there, Tanya.
yeah,
No, I'm trying to keep him going before he goes on a rant.
I'm not. No, I think that's a weird place to be.
I understand. I mean, and it's hard because you want to understand what Facebook's doing, but on the flip side, we are some of the biggest people that are for free speech. Do you know what I mean?
Right. No.
Yeah, it's awkward.
And I mean, like, if your son decided to be a transgender,
Yes.
wouldn't you
Probably will. Let's be real. I mean, come on.
give him a few more
Right.
years, especially living with her?
Yeah.
Keep it up. I can't wait for my future son, daughter to come out and beat your ass.
Yeah.
She can toss you.
She'll be like, he'll be like, oh, it's so good to be a woman because then I can get some man to work for me all the time and treat me like a princess.
Right.
Buy me a Nintendo Switch whenever I want one.
And then she gets in a relationship with R. Kelly.
still take care of her.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He loves him.
Oh my
He's
God.
fighting for him.
Right.
But no, I mean, but if that was the case, wouldn't you feel more defensive? Because I'm sure at a personal level,
Right there on the
he would
nipple.
be attacked a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. It's a hard thing. Like, I support freedom of speech, and
There is this fine line where
it's a gray area.
I think it's such a fine line that honestly Facebook should stay out of it, because if you can't monitor every situation, you can't generalize it. Sorry, I don't I'm used to it. But
Cold.
If you see something wrong and you don't say anything, you have set a lower
You're part of the
standard for
problem.
yourself. And right now I'm seeing a Me Too movement going on.
But and so I understand there's a fine line between bullying and just an opinion. For instance, we'll take Omar again, an example, the raghead comment. Okay, that's just a straight bullying attack.
Right.
It
now,
is.
having an opinion that maybe Muslims could be a threat to America, I don't see that as bullying. I think it's naive and I think it's ignorant, but
Incredibly.
I don't see it as an attack. And if Facebook would have to analyze every single comment with something along those lines, and they don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the will
No,
to do it.
so-
And so I think that unless you are willing to dish all of those out, you stay out of it completely.
Now let me ask you a question on that
Unless it's
regard.
just blatant.
So if we do want to just open it up to a complete idea marketplace, then I think at that point, here would be if I was in charge of Facebook anyway. This is what I would say, and I'll see if you guys agree. No Facebook unless you're 18 or older, because if you're being bullied by people at school, Facebook's gonna get in trouble for that shit.
Yeah.
But they just said we're not dealing with that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So 18 or older, or parents have to sign for it, and they are held responsible for everything that happens on Facebook under their kid's name. 100% legally.
Even after they're 18?
Well, until they're 18, obviously. But legally, they are responsible for everything that happens.
Okay, so then what about the kids? Because there's plenty of kids who have done it. What about the kids who make a Facebook saying they're 18, but they're really like 15 or 16? Because it happens all the time.
No, that does.
And I don't think it matters anymore, but I know it used to.
And
You had to be 18 to sign up.
And I think that should be something, too.
So are you saying the
if
kids should
they-
be held accountable?
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And I mean, that's fraud.
Yeah, my hands are
So, I mean, which would be just a giant fine, I guess, or whatever. But I also wonder, like you said, you've known people have done it. I think I've probably done it when I was a kid, like MySpace or
By
whatever.
the time I got around to it, you didn't have to be 18. got
I
a
do
couple
know if
years
you're
ago.
like 12 or 13, there's a
Well, yeah, I think there is a minimum, but
I think I've done that for my kid on stuff.
you made him a
Yeah.
Facebook.
Not a
Yeah.
Facebook. I made him an email.
Oh, I thought
And you
were
have to
gonna
be
say,
a
like,
certain age. And I
not
was like,
Facebook,
"No,
but I
fuck
made
it."
him a MySpace.
He's fine. Yeah.
I made him an AOL account.
You have a whole bunch of friends there.
Right?
Those are all the pedos hang out.
Yeah, for real.
They haven't moved on yet. Like, this used to be a hot spot. It's coming back. Don't worry. Just like disco.
You know what I heard someone say, by the way, the other day? Was, I really wish that you could customize Facebook so when you went to their page, you could hear music. And I'm like,
Right?
Oh, man.
kind of
I
like
know.
MySpace.
I know. Which would be cool.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
That was an awesome thing about
it was
MySpace.
really cool.
But yeah, no, I think that's it's an interesting fact. And then at the point when Facebook then starts prosecuting all these people, then people are going to be like, "Oh, Facebook's horrible." Like, but in a way, we cornered them into that. So it's like, I don't know. There's an issue there that I think it's a valuable point, but ultimately, I think freedom of speech. We all say freedom of speech until some kid hangs himself. You know what I'm saying? And then we all say, someone should have been watching that.
I think that it's one of those things where you have to accept that everybody has freedom of speech. Even the scummiest people have the right to say what they want, but you need to understand that there will be ramifications.
See, and I'm going to agree. Because remember this 16-year-old girl who kept encouraging her boyfriend to commit suicide. And then when
Okay.
he did,
Fair point, but here's the thing: outside of doxing people, and eventually, because I mean, Facebook and Twitter, they'll give you. I mean, fuck. How many times has Will been suspended? I mean,
I think he's still suspended.
you can
Yeah.
be just you can be permanently suspended essentially, like just constantly, and then they'll finally, after just the worst thing possible you can do, then they'll kick you out for good. At least on Facebook, Twitter, it's
Yeah,
it's
Twitter's
hard to.
touchy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But what else can they do to stop that kind of? You know what I'm saying? Because you said, we all have the First Amendment, and but if you say something bad, then something bad can happen to you. Well, what else can they do outside of doxing, which is they're already getting?
But I don't
I
think-
do know that because it was about 8 months ago. I do know somebody who posted a picture of several guns saying that she was going to shoot the baby daddy. And what Facebook did was, because she got back on and explained what happened, one of the admins for Facebook contacted the local police department within her, I think, 20-mile radius and sent them a copy of what she posted. And the police did end up going to her home.
And that's different because you're just outright
Being fucking
promoting
crazy.
violence against someone. But I don't think that you should dox people for that. I don't think Facebook should be held accountable for that.
For targeting people?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, because you're the one who's outright doing it. Now, I think Facebook.
What do you mean?
Here's what I mean is I think that even though Facebook is the platform, I think that they took the right step in this instance in contacting police. If she had gone and shot him, I don't think they should be held accountable.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying, or at least their argument is, should they report things like that?
Yes.
And that's
But-
doxing, and she probably got in trouble for it.
Right. But as far as like suspending people, unless it's like really bad outright, I don't think so. I think it has to be
you
pretty
get-
blatant
You
because
get warned multiple times before you get suspended.
I've
so-
never been warned for anything. And
Right.
And that's
I
the
have.
thing. That's
Yeah, I
the thing is
have.
Yeah.
I don't think I've, honest to God, ever been. I know I've never been suspended.
Well-
I don't think I've ever gotten a warning, but I also post some pretty bad shit sometimes.
You will, and I take it back though. You can get suspended for like a day or two for like if you
Totally.
post porn, or
Yeah.
if you post
I know I put my
people's
porno up there one
personal
time, and it just-
information up, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you get so I don't know. It's hard to say how the best
But-
way to handle it because there again, if our show was, I mean, not personally, I was personally targeted in it, but it was our show. Someone took a picture of a bunch of guns and said they were going to shoot us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They did do that.
That guy was fine. No
Yeah.
problems at all.
Which is insane. And he was very blatantly obvious threatening us. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And that's one of the things that Facebook probably should have caught. But it goes back to my point about that fine line between just blatant attack on someone and an opinion. And I think that it's too gray of a line where you can pick sides on that.
And if
I
you're
think unless it's super blatant like that instance, you shouldn't do anything. Because then there are people who, like you got in trouble, but old Killjoy down the road, saying he's going to blow up a school. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I think they do need to. They need to fine tune it. Is really what they need to do. And I think one of the ways to really fuck things up is by destroying something like the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
Like from their standpoint. Look, I completely disagree. Science disagrees. I mean, there's been all these things proven. And then here's the other question on that. What about the spreading of false news, false information?
Exactly.
And then when does that become defamation of character? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're Hillary Clinton and you're coming up from your coffin and you're waving off you're wiping off your dead babies, you get on Facebook and it says Hillary Clinton
She was dead.
most intelligent person in the world. We all know that's not true.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no, if they said Hillary Clinton is eating babies and whatever, and
That's
that's being
better.
shared all over Facebook, that is defamation of character.
It is.
If that was spread about you personally, you'd be like, "This is fucking bullshit."
I'd probably just own it.
I
Yeah, I've
would.
had a few
Yeah.
babies in my past. I do it for the stem cells.
You would get as you're leaving your house, you have like these prop dead fetuses
Right, yeah.
just like hanging from you by their umbilical cord.
Oh my God, I would do that. That'd be amazing.
Wow, that got dark.
Well, I mean, it also goes back. We also have a president who tells people to take it, or no, he threatens the media, and that you need to take certain people down, and then in the next day it's, well, I never said that.
Right.
It's a fine gray line,
And look, we got Fox News who's running stories that
are completely fake,
unequivocally false. And we know this. Like the thing about Rashida Tlaib.
How many times has Elizabeth Warren died?
The thing that's came out about AOC. They're fake. And they were started by right-wing bloggers who are people who have no more credibility than we do, except for we have integrity, and so we won't run stories unless we know they're 100% true. And they went ahead, and Fox News takes these and they run them like they're real stories.
Yeah.
And I mean, we even saw the story about in the New Yorker that came out this week? Yeah, this week, where a journalist, she worked for Fox News, and she was going to run the Stormy Daniels story. And they said, no, not here. You can't. If you do that, you're fired.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was Fox News. This is before Stormy Daniels was a thing.
Yeah.
But they were behind Trump.
Well, on the
I mean,
bright
that's
side,
state-sponsored fucking news.
yeah.
on the bright side, Elizabeth Warren's going to come in and break up Facebook.
I've heard there's some weird stuff about that.
Yeah, no, she wants to go in and break up Google. I'm pretty sure Facebook and Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm not against that, to be honest.
I'm against breaking up Google.
Why? I mean, she means corporate.
They're
corporately
more,
speaking. Like,
they're kind of monopolized. Let's
Yes.
be honest.
No, totally.
and then because they also own like YouTube and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I've argued, and we're probably going to get in trouble for this. We should have other YouTube options.
Yes.
How so?
Well, I mean, there should be there is something called Minds, which I don't know. I want to look into about getting our show on there. I think it's pretty simple, but there should just be other versions of YouTube
Oh.
because YouTube, in itself, they have a massive problem. They have a worse problem than Facebook and Twitter combined about what they allow up and then what people get in trouble for. I guarantee you, and I didn't even think about it, but our episode "Fuck You, Tim Pool" probably was hidden from most people.
So you
I
mean
would see- I could see
different
that.
forms of YouTube, like Twitter's a different form of Facebook, Facebook's
Right.
a different form of MySpace.
yeah, there's
Yes.
only
That
one
kind of
YouTube.
thing?
Yeah, there's only
only
one.
one
YouTube.
Only
YouTube.
one place where you can really look at videos.
Yeah.
I mean,
And there
porn
should
sites,
be
but-
multiple, but every time someone comes out with one, Google buys it and then kills it. So it's like, yeah, I kind of, and Amazon, the shit they're doing to small businesses.
It's horrible.
Where if, let's say I sell my product on Amazon and it's selling really, really well, they will buy me out or they will say, we won't sell your shit anymore.
Yeah.
So I have one option really,
Yeah.
is either shut down business or sell it to them.
Do you know who they should
and then
shut down
they'll
for
just-
being monopolized? Disney.
No.
Well, maybe, I don't know why.
No, wait. hang
Disney's
on.
huge.
Well, Disney is huge.
I mean, they've got Pixar. They have all of the Marvel. They have Star Wars. I mean, Disney's huge when you think
Yeah, but
about
what's
it.
wrong with Disney?
Yeah.
They're taking it off of Netflix.
Oh.
That's Netflix's problem, not Disney. Disney's not taking it
She's
off.
just pissed on a personal level.
No, I am. Okay, so they have to
I mean,
stop Jessica
Disney's not
Jones
pulling it,
because
Netflix
technically
is.
Jessica Jones is now
That was
part
trash.
of Disney.
I'm kidding, by the way. I really like Jessica Jones and The
So
Punisher.
that's why it all got canceled.
That's because it belongs to Disney now.
Well, then
even
it'll be on
though-
Disney's thing because they're coming out with one.
I don't care.
And fuck you have all the Disney shit. No, this is different. This
Disney's
is way
right,
different. This
right.
is-
She's just person.
Like,
She has a
yes,
personal
Fuck
vendetta.
Disney.
You're totally antiquating Amazon destroying small business to I can't watch Jessica Jones anymore on Netflix.
Listen, I get it though. I was pretty upset.
I mean, yeah.
I love Jessica Jones.
Jessica
Wait
Jones
until
is pretty
Disney
cool.
takes over Pornhub,
And
and
Luke
then
Cage.
you two will carry.
I was actually more pissed about Luke Cage.
So, yeah,
I
like,
was
what the
so
fuck?
mad. You know, honestly, I haven't seen the Punisher
I
series
like
yet.
Daredevil. I haven't. I tried
I
to
didn't
get into
care
it.
for
I had a
Daredevil.
hard- Really?
Yeah,
That
I-
one you kind of got to stick into.
And I watched all of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I was still I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying would I rewatch it? Probably not. But
Oh,
Luke,
yeah, I mean-
Luke Cage, I was mad about. I'd rewatch Luke Cage.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Most of that stuff I can't rewatch. I just don't. Anyway, I want to move on. I want to get to these stories.
Wow, we've almost
before,
killed an hour already.
Wow.
that I got doxxed for, and that we're gonna probably go into the next hour on.
And that is the
But I don't want to go too far from what we were talking about, and that is the Israel kind of being douches to Palestine.
because I ran across that article because I sent it to you yesterday or last night.
Okay, it's time to take credit. I get it.
She wants to just set that in there, okay?
I did because I know he would. No, it's a good article. Did you read it?
Which one?
Okay, so maybe we should announce it to the people first, or what's going on.
I really
and then
don't
we
know
get
which
into
one
it.
you're talking about.
So yesterday,
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Um,
Okay. I love you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Look at his face.
Jesus
yesterday.
Christ.
Oh yeah, yesterday when I sent it to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really talking
the article
about
you got
things-
from me.
Really talking like she's like, oh, we should try to be like a 98.7.
I know. I'm
Yeah, that's
sorry.
not how things go.
I'm sorry.
All right. So yesterday, at approximately 8:30 in the morning, military and civil administration personnel came to a border town of Tuwani, and this is in between. This is right on the outside of Palestine.
So is it in Israel's territory?
Not really, no. I
Okay,
mean,
because I have no idea the geography over there.
it-
I have no idea what is around Israel.
well, it's in the South Hebron Hills.
Oh,
So that gives
Okay.
you some context.
sure.
They unearthed a 5-kilometer stretch of pipe
That was providing fresh water for the town.
for more than 1,000 people in only. And here's why it's important: only Palestinian communities.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's important to know that it was in Palestinian communities is because a lot of Israelites live in Palestinian
Yeah.
areas. A lot of people didn't know that, but really what they've been doing for a couple of decades now is they've been migrating. There's the West Bank, and then there's Gaza, and those are Palestinian controlled essentially. But over 700,000 Israelites have migrated into those areas, and now they are arguably the majority in a lot of these places, trying to kick out the Palestinians even further. So it was only to the communities that were getting water that were Palestinian. And so that happened yesterday, and I shared that information. I thought that was pretty fucked up. And that's what I got in trouble for, was the fact that I
Well,
apparently
that's the one you got in
was
trouble for.
against Palestine or against Israel.
Israel, yeah. They literally removed the pipes, so there's no longer any water flowing into the communities.
Yeah.
But they did not shut the water off. So 512 cubic meters, is that what it was, of water flowed freely for about 6 hours before they shut it down. And now this Palestinian community has no water, and they won't be able to
I
survive.
thought Israelis moved in there though.
This one was, it was a Palestine-only community.
It's a village.
Oh.
It is on the West Bank.
Okay,
though.
because you had made it sound like the Israelis moved in there.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to take...
So the Israelites have moved into the West Bank,
Oh.
which is a Palestinian
Okay.
area. This was a village
Okay.
away from the West Bank.
I was gonna say that seems a little counterproductive.
Right.
but-
No, it's only Palestinian lived community only.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and you are right. Yeah, they just left the water going for some odd reason because they're
Dicks.
dicks, honestly. You almost hate saying that. And then I kind of got into a little bit of backstory on this. I've kind of wondered a little bit further in on the Palestinian-Israel war and hatred. So just to give a little bit of context, a lot of people say that this has gone on for centuries. It's actually gone on since about 1900.
Yeah.
And
Which is a century.
just yes, a
Technically.
century. And really, what happened was World War I. The Ottoman Empire got defeated. Britain and France cut. They split the Ottoman Empire's area. Then Britain designated a section of land and said, "This is Palestinian. This is where the Arabs can live." And boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Then we'll just say friend of the show, Adolf Hitler, did a little bit of douchery, if you will, and decided to commit mass homicide and genocide over a certain people.
Is that a problem?
A little bit. So
It's not like they were Mexicans. I mean, come on.
right.
Worse.
So these poor Jewish people came and they migrated into the Palestinian area. The Palestinians weren't exactly cool with it. At first, they were cool with it, but then like just more and more and more and more came. And if you know the area that at that time was all Palestine's, it's not that big. Like it's big, but not like huge. I mean, and they just kept coming. I mean, and where else are they going to go? There was that right there is what fucked a lot of things up. Like Britain and France should have handled that better, and they should have designated some land for Israel. But whatever. And I think a lot of them wanted to be there because the whole Holy Land thing, which that gets really convoluted. So then in 1948, Israel said, no, fuck you, Palestine. We're taking this land. And they started a year-long war where they took over more than like 3/4 of the land that was designated to Palestine. And then they essentially ruled over them until now. There has been some other things that have happened in between, obviously, like in the 90s. Hamas was started, and Hamas has done some really fucked up things, some bomb attacks and shit like that to Israel. But for the most part, since around 1960, Israel has been the one who's been ruling over the Palestinians. But it's interesting to think that this land was actually first just given to the Palestinians. Like, it was supposed to be their land.
Minor details.
And it makes me just go in further. Like, why is it when someone like Ilhan Omar says something against the Israelite government, we're so touchy, and we're like, no, she's an anti-Semite, which we criticize all sorts of governments all the time. I mean, most of the media and almost every politician is talking shit on Venezuelan's government right now.
Oh, yeah.
Are they racist against Southern Americans? Well, of course they are, but
Right.
I mean, but they're, you know, that's the thing. Like, why are we so touchy about them? And I can't figure it out for the life of me. And I mean, because if anything, Trump should actually be scared of Israel. He should refer to them all the time. He should be like, see what happened to the Palestinians? That's what's going to happen to America with the Mexicans coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
That's a direct fear of his. And the conservative right wing, they're terrified of immigrants taking over our country, but they sponsor. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't understand.
It's only certain immigrants.
And before we do take our break, did want to say the other thing that happened in Palestine, Israel, something else that Omar got in trouble for. And honestly, I don't understand why she got in trouble for it, because she was just regurgitating news that had already been released. The UN did say that Israel committed humanitarian. What's the word I'm looking for? Acts against humanity about a year ago, when the protests happened at the Gaza Strip, when Israel fired into Palestine, killing 56 people and wounding 162. And it was unprovoked. They were not a threat, deemed the UN. And there was medics that were shot, that were targeted, that were sniped. And so, yeah, it's a war crime is what it is. But is anything going to happen for that? Probably not.
No.
But that was another thing Omar got in trouble for, because she reported that.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know. We're very, very weird. I want some. In fact, if you're listening, call in like 10 minutes after our break and tell us why we're so pro-Israel. The government, not the people. Anyway, we are going to take a break. We will be back.
So,
Earphones really hurting my head.
Really?
Yeah, they're like super tight.
have you seen this thing about Trump in Alabama?
Oh, Alabama.
I know he's down there.
So he's down there.
Just so you guys know, too, we are still on YouTube. So
Oh, yeah.
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
all right.
It's
I
YouTube.
just- I didn't-
YouTube supports us.
you guys typically don't just like say anything that are just awful, but I thought, like, what if like
Right.
just this break, Cody just stretching, he's like, oh, spick.
Right.
So President Trump is down in Alabama, and we had those series of horrible tornadoes.
Yeah.
So he's declared a state of emergency for them, and he has told them they can have all the funding they needed, which is amazing because he pulled funding from fires in Puerto Rico and the fake Americans. Well, he was at this church, And it's a Baptist church. Surprise.
We have a call.
Oh.
Yeah, for real.
Oh,
Let's take
Answer
that
it.
shit.
Okay. Are we
I
ready?
don't hear it, but let's try.
Well, is it? Oh, hold up. This is muted for some ungodly reason. Here. I think it. Hello.
Hello?
Welcome to Revolution Radio.
Hi there, this is Michael Mack. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm a comedian from the Looney Bin.
Oh, hey. How are you? Well,
hello. How's it going?
caught us a little off guard there. I apologize.
I did?
Yeah, we were on break.
No, you're
Oh, I
fine.
see.
You're fine.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
you're totally
fine.
fine.
I know I'm fine. But hi. Nice to meet you.
So how's it going, man? How was last night?
It went relatively well. I mean, there was a little over 50 people, that's a pretty good sized crowd, and they were very energetic. So it went well.
Ladies'
good.
night, right?
Yeah, that's right. It was ladies' night. I forgot until you mentioned it. Yeah. There were 7 drunk women in the back who talked a whole shitload, but
Of
other
course.
than that,
I don't think it would be a stand-up comedy show if it wasn't. You know,
Especially there, people get really
they
rowdy
do.
there.
Yeah, we've heard from a few people that they like to interrupt and they think they're doing the show.
that's true. But they do have one security guy, and he eventually did go over there and tell him to shut the fuck up. So
That's good.
Good, good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, just so you know, yeah, we are live now. You can cuss; it's no big deal. You're talking to Jay.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Tanya.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'm inside this condo by the club, and the building's made out of concrete and steel. I hope the signal is good.
It's a bunker.
Yeah,
Well,
Yes, it's a bunker.
if you missed it, I'm Cody.
And I'm
I
Tanya.
can be- And Tanya, did you say?
Yeah.
and I'm Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Jay doesn't matter. It's
No,
cool.
not at all.
Oh, there's a third guy there?
Yeah.
Who I'm supposed to pretend doesn't exist?
Yeah,
just
actually,
the third
that's
guy,
what we
yeah.
do every show. So
I can do that. I can be a professional radio person, too.
I promise it's a lot easier than you think.
What's his name, the guy I'm forgetting?
Jay.
Jay.
Yeah.
All right, forget about Jay then.
Yeah. All right. See how easy
It's,
that
it's
was.
really a name not even worthy of multiple letters.
You should see, I have a paper here. I wrote down Jay, and then I crossed it off.
Way ahead of us.
That is where I rank, which is fine. So, I got to ask you a little bit about your background into comedy. How long ago
Sure.
did you start? And what was really like the big thing that got you going? Was there a different comedian that you looked into that was, or just a movement? What really got you going into it?
I started in 1990, and what got me started was I was 13 and I got a George Carlin album.
Ooh.
And I hooked on stand-up comedy after listening to that, and I used to repeat that. I memorized it. I would do it at parties and stuff for my friends when I was a teenager, and just loved the sound of laughter. I was the class clown. I was voted the class clown in my whole junior high school. Like, that's a diploma my mother still hates to this day. But then I was into George Carlin, and then Steve Martin came around back in those olden days, and I was smoking a lot of pot, and Steve Martin was just a trip. So I got hooked on him. And so I play guitar, and I have actually this closing bit called Faces of Rock. It's actually the last 15 minutes of my act. I build puppets of celebrity musicians, and they're all rigged with LED lights, and I do it completely in the dark for the last 15 minutes, and all the puppets are lit up. I play some of the roles, like John and Yoko, and anyway, so I do 15 minutes of just pretty much humiliating all those people, except for John Lennon. I try to be gentle with him, but it's on YouTube if you ever want to take a look.
Yeah, we definitely will. That's awesome, though. Do you use your guitar the entire?
What's that?
Do you
Say it again?
use your guitar the entire time, or is it just for that?
I do. I wear it the whole time. I do it about half and half. I do some stand up, then guitar, then stand up guitar, like that. I blend it all the way through. It's mostly parodies. I do have a couple originals, and then the ending. So yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Like I said, I like Steve Martin. I like variety. I like out of the ordinary, and that was what I was determined to do, was like build something out of the ordinary.
I can understand that. When you're writing, let's say you have a funny premise in your head, how do you determine, okay, like I'm going to make this a song, or I'm going to work on this being a bit?
You know, that's not easy, because sometimes when I'm looking for a song, well, of course I have notebooks, some notebooks, and mostly it's on my computer now, but I just keep a lot of notes of one-line ideas. And then I also have a folder with just song ideas in it. But sometimes I go into the stand-up notes and look for possible songs from there also, because it can be anything.
And then just kind of work it from there to, you know.
Hey, let me do this is a quick example. This is a song I wrote about breast reduction surgery.
Yes.
Hear it.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Stop it! Thank you very much.
I love that take on it too. I couldn't agree more. It's the most ridiculous.
Hey, you want me to do
thing.
a full song?
Yeah,
Sure,
if you're willing
go
to,
for
that'd
it.
be great.
Okay, cool. I'm on the road for 4 weeks. I had to leave my girl back at home. I want to do a song for her, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Okay, cool. She kills with a smile. She can wound with her eyes. If you tell her you love her, she'll never reply. She came in a box, so I know she's germ-free. She's made of latex. She's always a woman to me. Oh, she can wait on the shelf. She can be who she wants. She has interchangeable hair. Oh, she can be Adele, or she can be Demi Moore. I just let out some air. She's frequently mad when I'm home drunk at 4. She plays hard to get when she's stuck in the drawer. One night she was killed by a protruding spring. Now she lines the bird cage, but she's always the woman to me.
That is
Thank you.
That is
fantastic.
incredible.
That is great.
Absolutely. I love it.
That's the thing. Like, you have to put so much more into the songs than you do to a bit, I would think, because you have to almost
Yeah.
tell a story and everything.
You know, it's funny. Usually if I'm writing a parody, that goes two directions. It's either I have the idea and then I look for the song to fit it, or I have the song that seems to be screaming out to be a parody, and then I look for something that rhymes with the chorus. And that one in particular, I just thought it would be a funny idea to do a love song to a love doll. I think I had that written down as a line. And then it had to be something loving, and then she's always a woman to me was so sincere. I was like, oh, that's going to be the one. And then the lines just started rhyming with the way Billy Joel had written it, and I was like, okay, this is definitely the one.
That's beautiful.
That is genius, honestly. I mean,
Thank you. Oh, let me
So-
do another one. Can I do another song?
yeah,
Yeah, go
that'd be
for
great.
it.
Oh, and can I be dirty?
Oh,
Yes.
100%, yes.
Okay, just checking. This one also, I won't tell you what it's about until it gets to the chorus, but this one also, I had the idea and I wanted to put a song to it. So I set this up on stage about going to singles bars. It's tougher to pick up a girl in a singles bar than it used to be. There's too many roadblocks, and this is the worst roadblock in my opinion. So that girl is like a total babe, from her feet to her head, doing shots and dirty things. She says, I want to take it to bed. She's the right kind of sinner, drunk as hell and rubbing up on me. But then here comes her girlfriend, and you know that she is going to be. She's a cock blocker, fuck stopper, nut chopper, and she's asking her to leave. She's a cock blocker, stick popper, box knocker. There's a nookie now, no.
Perfect.
Did you
Love
write
it.
that song about me? Because that's sweet. I appreciate that.
Are you a cock blocker, Cody?
Maybe. You got my
It's weird. It sounds
got my
like
dirty
Hot Pocket
secret.
when you say it like that. Cock blocker.
I think you just pronounced garage wrong. That's what Cody is.
Garage.
I have it in tattoo.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Are you on a tour right now, or is this just specific out to Wichita?
It's a tour. Let's see. I started in Palm Harbor, Florida. Listen to this nightmare. I started in Palm Harbor, Florida. Then I drove to my house in Augusta, Georgia, just to do laundry and spend the night. And then I got in the car the next morning and drove to Indianapolis. I did a Wednesday one-nighter. Then I drove to Louisville. And then I did the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. Then I drove to Missouri, stayed a couple days just to kill time, and then drove here to Wichita. And then I got to leave on Tuesday and go do Tulsa. Then I go back home to Augusta for a week, and then I got to go work in Naples, Florida.
Wow.
Jesus,
So the whole circle, like back to where I started.
Yeah.
Jeez.
that is one hell of a schedule. And
Yep, that's the thing. People see the glory. I mean, we love the job once we get there, but the traveling really blows. That's where most of the work goes into it.
Yeah, no,
It's the driving.
I get it. I live an hour and a half away from here, so after the show, it's a pretty grueling drive.
no, I could see why a lot of comics end up being depressed. Like,
Yeah.
just living in and out of like shitty condos. No offense, Biggs, but yeah, I mean,
Ones with no windows.
I
Like this one.
It
yeah.
has no windows. Isn't that illegal?
No, none at all. It used to be a garage. It was an old car repair garage.
He
and
let
have
you
to-
out of that room?
hold it.
He usually has a couple of women down there that don't get to leave.
Yeah, you'd be surprised
Dude,
what
you
I had
better
to do.
run.
He's like, that's why those handcuffs are there.
Couple of chained up women in the bunker.
Wait, are we talking about Biggs or R. Kelly?
What's the difference?
It's very similar.
No, that's one hell of a schedule you have. It's gotta kill you.
Yeah, and you funny you mentioned R. Kelly. I used to do him in The Closer. Still have an R. Kelly puppet. He would sing. I believe I Can Fly. Would start playing, and then in the dark, the R. Kelly would appear, and then I had a water bottle that I would squirt at women.
That is hilarious.
I was thinking about bringing it back, but it's not about peeing anymore now. It's on the news.
Yeah.
Underage women.
I still think you should run with it,
Yeah.
though.
I
I mean,
think you should. That'd be great.
because you
All
know
right, listen to this.
the pink
I used
stuff
to
will
do
come
this,
back.
I dropped this one too. I used to do Kurt Cobain. I have a puppet of Kurt Cobain, and it would start playing "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and then he would appear. And they're made out of paper mache. They're placed on wood, and I have handle and axle to run their mouths, and they light up, like I said, so you can see them in the dark. So anyway, Kurt Cobain starts to sing, and he's got a giant hole in his forehead. And I would light a cigarette in the dark behind it. I would light a cigarette and then blow puffs of smoke through his forehead. Yeah, it got a real mixed reaction. First of all, the old people didn't know who it was, and the younger people, they either really dug it or they hated me. But it was real hit and miss, that one. I had to dump it. I still do Whitney Houston. That's an older one. I was doing it before she died, but it starts with "I Will Always Love You," and then her face appears and she's singing it. This is a puppet also. And then as she's singing, a giant pile of cocaine appears off to the side. And then she starts following that around in the air, back and forth. That's what she's singing to, that "I Will Always Love You." And she slams her face into the pile of coke, and it goes everywhere. And then she comes up, and it's all stuck to her face. And then the music speeds up to like 3 times the normal speed. It's
You ever land in a bathtub?
Somebody just told me that. I'm like, it's already cruel enough.
So do you have to do much maintenance on these puppets? Because it sounds like you really put them through hell.
A lot. They do break. They
Yeah.
do break sometimes in the middle of the show, which sucks. Like sometimes the mouth will snap or whatever. But lucky that I built them, so I'm the guy to repair them, so I can do that in between shows.
Yeah.
But sure, I've had all kinds of problems.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you put a lot into every performance, and everyone in this area around Wichita, you need to come check this guy
Oh
out.
my god.
Yeah.
Tonight, what, 7:30? 7:38?
Tonight it's 8. Tonight it's, I think, 8 and 10.
Yeah.
And tomorrow they drop it a little bit earlier. I believe it's 7:30 and maybe 7:30 and 10, and then tonight's 8 and 10:30. Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, I think that's it. And then I think check-in is a little bit earlier.
Yeah, get there early too, because they've been
Oh,
selling
yeah,
out.
they
They don't want you to
sold
miss.
out on
They don't want you to miss
Saturdays,
the
too.
beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they suggest coming half hour early. Yeah, and they want you to drink. So they
Oh
want you to
yeah.
Oh,
come
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Rack up that drink tab.
but don't miss it. Don't miss this opportunity to check out Michael Mack. Obviously, you guys can tell just from this interview alone, he is one hell of a showman.
Yeah.
And hilarious as fuck. But yeah, tonight and tomorrow, don't miss the opportunity. You're not doing a Sunday show, are you?
No,
All right. Anyway, man, we better let you go. We got to pay some bills. But do you have any upcoming dates you want to promote? We are on. We're internet radio, so we're all over America.
Okay.
Put out your website, your Facebook, YouTube, whatever you got.
Sure. Okay. I'm on YouTube. I got about 10 different music videos and one up. YouTube.com/comedian Michael Mack, M-A-C-K, like the truck or the daddy.
Woohoo!
And it's same on Facebook. Same on Facebook.com/comedian Michael Mack, all one word also.
All right.
So
Okay.
check those out.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, nice to
my
meet you,
friend. It was
Cody,
cool-
Tanya, and even Jay.
Whatever
Oh,
that other guy was.
thank
It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah,
You
for
got to
sure.
call back whenever you have another tour coming up or something like that you want to push.
Yeah.
Just give us a holler,
Well,
man.
thank you. That sounds
Yeah.
cool, guys.
Had a lot of fun. Take care, brother.
I did too. You have a good one. Bye bye
too.
now.
Bye. Michael Mack.
I like him.
Yeah, he was pretty funny.
I bet he wouldn't let me lick his puppets though.
Why?
You're so why?
Why?
Why does it have to be?
You know, at first I defended it. I was like, you know, it's okay. She wants to get a little freaky. I understand, but now it's just everybody, even
know,
the puppet.
even the puppets
you
are
used
getting
to
it.
you used to just me to the people. Now you've moved on to the puppets.
I really want to lick some of his puppets. I'm not gonna lie.
Jesus Christ.
You would. Are you that starved for attention?
Obviously.
Yeah, your